Hi guys, it's Disco Stew, welcome back to my latest video. It's been a while, but as we're at New Year's Eve 2018, I thought why not have another video today. Now this video is recorded live, so there's no sort of going back to stuff I've recorded or gameplay. I just wanted to go and have a little video, have a little chat about what I think is, well, we'll start by calling it the worst Tier 8 heavy tank. And that is this little thing that you're looking at right here. The brick. Mercenaries Tier 8 premium tank. Currently on sale in the garage for I think 13,400 gold as its base price. What do you say about this? Well, it is the worst Tier 8 heavy tank. Let's make no bones about it, that's what it is. It's got the hull of the E50, the gun of the Motherland, turret of the IS-6, and the engine off the Conqueror. It's the third engine in line in the Conqueror, so it's not even the top engine of that. So it's got a couple of Tier 9 things in there. The Motherland gun is a Tier 7 gun. As you can see from this, it's a total pea shooter, one of the big issues. And it's got the turret off one of the worst Tier 8 heavies. Stock chassis off the E50. So where do we even start with this tank? Well, let's compare it. Let's look at the armor first. Let's look at the armor. So its best bit, that, up to 231 mil. Okay, well, that's insignificant. No one's ever going to try and shoot there, are they, on purpose? The whole front goes no thicker than 161 millimeters. So that's the turret, the front plate, the whole thing. The mantlet and the lower plate are no thicker than 121, and I'm just going by the guides that you can see there between 91 and 121. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say 121. We'll look at it a bit in depth more later on. Superstructure of the hull, between 71 and 91, it's not great for a heavy. And then obviously the little insignificant stuff on the top. Spaced armor on the tracks. So modules wise, we got, like I said, the Rolls-Royce Meteor, which is the third engine in the grind of the Conqueror. The Conqueror's top engine is 950 horsepower. And it weighs 3 tons less. This thing weighs 68 tons, which is ridiculous, and gives it the power to weight ratio of 11.82, which is absolutely horrific. Top forward speed 40 kilometers. Yeah, if you're going downhill. If you see a hill, you might as well just not bother. Reverse speed, yeah, you ain't going anywhere. The gun is the gun. It's the Tier 7 gun off the Motherland, which is nothing to write home about. Its pen is not great. It's got a huge differential between pen and APCR, which we'll look into later. E50 tracks, probably stock. IS-6 turret, it's not great. Has a Tier 10 radio though, so that's something, I guess. Damage between 188 and 303, and then 188, 303. The pen between 143 and 238, with the plus minus of 25%, whatever it is, and the shell velocity. Again, something we're going to have to look at later on. Oh, and it comes with that crew. Yes, the accursed Sandman. We're not here to talk about that, but whoever thought of that idea needs firing. Right. So, I thought it'd be a good thing. Let's compare the armor with this, with the 3 other things you can see on the screen at the moment. You've got the 50 TP, the Tier 8 recently released Polish heavy tank. So, historical. You're seeing my sort of air quotes with historical. The Patriot, many class that as an OP American heavy Tier 8. And again, when this was released, of course, a bit of a hoo-ha, because it was borderline, it was OP, everyone thought it was really OP because I had no frontal weak spots. It's not that OP, but we'll compare it. So we've had a look at the bricks armor, how it was, everything at the front was yellow. So starting with this Chrysler K, if you look at the armor here, it all looks a little bit different, doesn't it? For a tier 8 heavy that sees tier 10. The front's good, the turret is excellent. It's, yeah. And we're talking sort of sloped as well on the front. And obviously it's got a very, towards the top of the turret, it's very sloped as well. But it's not even a comparison, you can't even compare the two. How about the Patriot? Let's look at the Patriot. Oh, look at that gun mantlet. That's deep red for a gun mantlet. It's what you want to see, isn't it? Got some nice little strong points on the front as well. Far stronger, far stronger. Again, it's all sloped. And don't forget, you have to look into the sort of maneuverability and the gun handling and all this kind of stuff as well, which contribute to this being a far better tank. The 50 TP. Again, super strong gun mantlet. Lots of spacing on the sides. Really strong tier 8 heavy tank. Like I said, this is live. So the bricks on this create spaced armor all around between 1 and 20. Okay, which is nice considering that everything else is that. It kind of brings it up a little bit, but not much. It doesn't make that much of a difference. And it's, you know, survivability 55. Whatever. Okay, so what we'll do now, we'll go over to Armor Inspector and have a look at what that's saying. Okay, so we're back with a look at some of the PC stuff, the Armor Inspector and the console portal as well. Right, so here you can see the page on the Tankopedia for the brick. Tier 8 Mercenaries Heavy Tank. And there it gives a bit more breakdown. IS-6 turret, 100mm gun off the Motherland, tier 7, super duper, just want you to see in a tier 8 heavy. Tier 9 engine, yes, although it's still poor given this tank is 68 tons. 68.5 tons. But it has a tier 10 radio, so we're all good with that, at least. The new Tankopedia I don't particularly like. It doesn't really give you a lot. It's not great. So let's have a look. I think the best way to show this is if we have a look comparing it to a couple of the consensus worst tier 8 heavies, the IS-6 and the KV-5. We've put the E50 in there for comparison because it's the hull from the E50 stock, and the Motherland. The gun in the Motherland, let's compare that. It brings up some interesting points. Okay, so hit points 1500. It's pretty meh for a tier 8 heavy. Obviously, the 50 and 50 for the IS-6. KV-5 gets a lot more. But makes me ask the question: I've got the turret off the IS-6 and the hull of the stock, which is 1650 hit points off the E50, why have I got less hit points in both of them? It doesn't really make much sense, especially when I've got like I say, the same hull as that and the same turret as that. I surely should have 1550, 1600 maybe, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, the weight is ridiculous. We're going to go with the bricks making the difference. 68 tons compared to 51 of the IS-6. Obviously the KV-5 is a lot heavier, and yeah, well, it's 58 for the hull, which is the body of this, is 58 tons, so you can kind of see where they got that figure from, and that's fine. DPM is horrific. 1800 is awful. Less than the Motherland, where the gun comes from. Yeah. So it's worse than a tier 7 gun on a tier 8 medium. You're seeing the problem here. Rate of fire. Yeah, it's better than the IS-6, but that's not saying a great deal. It should be, given it's a 100mm gun, and it does literally hardly any damage. All the sort of the rest of the disbursement stuff are in line with the IS-6. You know, just worse, a little bit worse than the Motherland. It's not great. Pen. Okay, so as you can see, compared to the Motherland, it's the same AP, APR, APCR. Yep, great. Damage. Yep, same. But here's the kicker. The speed is different. The velocity of the round is different. So why is the velocity of the round different? Now, admittedly, I've not got the Motherland, so I can't look at what ammo it uses. I'm not going to fart around on this doing that, because this is, like I said, a live video, so apologies for the clicking of the mouse. But surely, the velocity of the round directly impacts how much pen you're going to get. So this is derpier than the Motherland's gun, but still has the same pen. It doesn't make any sense. And it's the same across all three types of ammo. So they've arbitrarily taken, 15 off that, 19 off that, and 15 off that. I don't really understand it. They've made it effectively worse than the Tier 7 medium gun on the Motherland. Okay, that's not good, is it? Not good at all. Pen-wise, it is better than the two other heavy tanks, but that's no surprise because they're frankly dog shit, and you need to fire APCR. It's not a big deal. But obviously, the damage is considerably less than other heavies. That's obviously not good. Mobility-wise, I can get past the gun because you can load the gold, spam premium, whatever. It'll go through things. It doesn't do any damage. It's not going to be it's not a big hitter, but the mobility is so crippling on this tank. I shit you not, I got Circle of Death by a Super Pershing. That is embarrassing. The Super Pershing is incredibly slow and has incredibly slow traverse speed, but I could not turn this tank quick enough to keep up with it. At all. I'm getting lapped by an SP. It's awful. So, speed limit 40, if you're lucky. Not going to get that unless you're going downhill. The power to weight ratio, worse than the KV5, and the KV5 is 30 tons heavier. That says it all. These numbers, they just like stuck the finger in the air and just made these numbers up, because they're just not good. The terrain resistance is awful. If you find yourself on soft ground, you're screwed. You can't turn the tank. Traverse speeds are poor. Bad. Down with the KV5, which is bad. Minus 5 gun depression. Worse. Terrible gun depression. Camo, the view range obviously is bad as them. Right, that's, all these figures are generally down there with the worst Tier 8s. Tier 8 heavies in the game, except it doesn't have a gun that can pack that much punch as these guys. These guys still packing between 300 and 350, or 390, sorry, for the IS. This gun maxes basically, so it's not going to do more than 250 damage. And then that comes to the price. The criminal part of this whole thing. 12, nearly 13,000 gold. The KV5, 7,500 stock, base price, and it's the better tank. You're going to live longer, without a shadow of a doubt. It just literally makes zero sense. This tank makes no sense. Do not buy this tank is the message. It's awful. It needs a bigger gun to make it. The problem you have, it doesn't hit hard enough where you can make any kind of damage in a game. It's not maneuverable where you can move out, get out of the way. You can't relocate quick enough to you can't affect a battle with this tank. the win rate in this is, my win rate in this is awful. I've played like nearly 50 games, and I don't think I've won half of them. You can't affect games in this tier 8 tank. It's just not worth it. The price is criminal. It shouldn't be more than 8,000 gold. It's absolutely criminal. Now, I said at the start of this, my little rant, that it's the worst tier 8 heavy. I think that's without question. Everyone can see it's the worst tier 8 heavy in the game. I'm going one further, in fact there's probably a few further, and say this is the worst tank there's ever been sold by Wargaming in any form. Absolutely any form. Because, apart from the criminal price, these little gems, the IS-6 and the KV-5, consensus worst tier 8 heavies in the game, they get preferential matchmaking. So you will never see a tier 10 in them. The brick sees up to tier 10. It doesn't even get preferential matchmaking. That tier 7 gun, which is worse than the tier 7 gun in the Motherland, for some odd reason, is going up against tier 10 tanks. You can go up against a mouse in this tank. What is the point? You literally start in a tier 10 game and you will be dead as soon as you get anywhere, because you can't move out the way quick enough and your gun can't pen anything. Why this doesn't have preferential matchmaking, I simply don't know. I know they're trying to get rid of it or whatever, but at that price, you need something. This tank is the worst tank ever been sold by Wargaming. Do not buy this tank. I took one for the team and I did it, and I played some games in it, but holy shit, the worst tank ever. I'm not even going to show any gameplay because there isn't any good gameplay. It's total dog shit, and that's it. That's my opinion of this tank. It doesn't make sense from its hit points to its ammo to the speed of its shots, its mobility, how it can have worse DPS, how can worse power to weight ratio in a tank that's 30 tons more. That's it. I'm done. Do not buy this tank. If you see them on the battlefield, just load the gold and get rid of them. You don't even need to load the gold. It's got a really thin, it's got a stupid turret. Just shoot the side of the turret. Just shoot the mantle. Just go straight through like by the gun. It's you can pen it with anything. Tier 10s just laugh at it. Tier 9s just laugh at it. It's pointless. Wargaming need to change this tank. Right. Rant over. I'm going to stop recording now. And I'm going to render it and I'm going to put it up because it's total horse shit of a tank. Thanks for watching. And might do another one at some point next year. See you later.